Hello guys, and today I'm going to be sharing with you a cool DIY project that I made recently. So we on Netflix were watching the game Wheel of Fortune. So I went online and thought to check how much would it be to buy one of these wheels, or if there was any games online where you could play Wheel of Fortune. But here's what I got. Nothing. The games online are really not that good, and the wheels are so expensive. So here's what I did. If you take some cardboard, you take some scissors, paint, paper, and some tape, you can make the wheel like this. So basically it's not that much. I just used a bunch of popsicle sticks for the thing that stops it, arrows made out of paper and pipe cleaners. Very basic, simple wheel, but it's so much fun to actually go there and spin it, and it's added extra joy. And for the actual game, I used Unity to code the app. So today we're going to be mainly focusing on the game creation, but if you just want to make your wheel and use my game, in the description I have linked where I have uploaded my Unity game, so you guys can go and check it out there. Okay, so let's get started. Okay guys, so I have Unity opened up here, and I have 20.1.8 is the version that I have, but I think what I'm doing today should work with pretty much any of the versions if it's not too updated. So let's get started. So if I click new, and it brings up this window, click 3D. Even though it is a 2D game, I like to keep everything 3D. And then we are going to name this Wheel of Fortune. I'm putting a tutorial, but you name it whatever you feel like. Okay, choose a location and let's go create. Okay, so it has now finished with the loading, and we have our sample scene here. So I have created a scene and I have linked the download in the description. So go click on that and download, and I have a pre-prepped scene with just all the objects. It's just the objects, no coding. We're going to go through the coding today that I have created for you already. So I'm going to get that from here. This is what you should do. So this is my tutorial.unity that I have created scene. Do Command C or Control C to copy this file. Go to your home folder, wherever all your Unity projects are stored. Go to Wheel of Fortune tutorials, what I'm in. Scenes, it's inside of assets, scenes, and over here, click Command V, and tutorial should pop up. And now we go here and we click on tutorial. Okay, so as you can see, the colors are a bit weird, but we're gonna fix that right now. So we're gonna create a new folder in assets folder. I'm going to call it materials, and we have to create 3 materials to begin with. I think that's the only 3 materials we're going to need throughout this whole thing. One will be the background. Let's name it background. Yeah. And let's color this. So this is what the background of your board is going to be. Actually, I like black better. Let's go for a blackish background. Good. Okay. Then for each of these slots, so we have each of these individual, right now they're pink because we don't put a material on them. We have each of these cards, which will hold either a letter, a blank space, or just a background slot. So we're going to create another material called, let's name it just slot. Default slot. So when the slot doesn't have a letter, then this is what the material is going to be set to. Let's make it a light bluish color. Okay, and so open all the slots here and shift all the way to here. Okay, and then command out these parents. Okay, so with all of those selected, you want to take this default slot material over here, and we'll put default slot, and that should change all of them. Sorry, I just put it on one object. Okay, and now all of them are this blue color. And let's make this a bit, change it to a brighter blue, I think. Like, there you go. I like that kind of as the background color. Okay, and then we need to make our last material. So this is going to be just white, and it's going to be called empty slot. So this is when the slot has a letter, so it just turns white, right? So we're not going to assign it to anything. Our code is going to do that. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to create a script folder. Let's create a folder, name it scripts. And let's start from the most basic and then go to the most complicated script. So we're going to be working in C# today. So we are going to create the script called slot, okay? And inside, and we are going to assign slot to every single one of these. So all slot's going to be in charge of changing its material. So let's go here for all of them. I need to open all of them. Okay, here, shift here, and then command these two out. Okay, and we click add component, scripts, scripts, and slot. Good. Now slot is assigned to all of these. Now let's go open slot. It takes a bit of time to load. Okay, so now we're not going to need any of this. All we're going to need is one variable called material. Let's do serialized field. I don't like to keep anything public, so let's make it a serialized private variable. So let's go private material, let's say empty color, white. Let's call it white because that's what the color is. And then just one function, which is going to be public void change color, and we're going to change its color to white. So how we're going to do that is transform dot get. Oops, that's not how you spell transform, is it? Transform dot get component. Oops, I'm not spelling things very quickly. Component. It's capital G. Get component. Render. It's called render. And so what it's doing is for each of this, this is the transform. This gives you access to the whole hierarchy of attributes. So transform.get component render, so it goes to the render, and then it gets the material, which we're gonna get access to right now by first, this is a function, so it has to have that again, dot material, and then we're gonna set it to white. So wherever there's a letter that needs to be guessed, we're going to set that to white. So we need to remember that for the future, that we need to call change color from the slot script. Okay, so that's the pretty simple first script for our slot. So for this to work, you have to assign this material to the code for it to be able to use that material and assign it. So as you can see, this is empty, so we click empty slot and we put it there. And just to make sure that all of them have it, you can just click around and all of them have the empty slot there. So whenever that is called, it'll change this blue to a white for all of these slots. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to create the main game manager program that's going to really do everything. Now I'm going to create the game manager script. Game manager script. Awesome. Let's go to background. this is where we'll place our script. It'll just be, can really be placed on anything. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna put it on the background because that's what I like. And then let's open the Game Manager script. Oops. So in our Game Manager script, first thing we want to do is we want to have a place where our puzzles are stored, right? So we're going to have serialized field, okay, and then we're going to have a private string array, private string puzzles, okay. So in the start, what we want to do is we want to randomly choose one of these puzzles. So let's just, okay, so we want to do random dot range, and we're going to do from 0 to the length of the puzzle list. Sorry, I'm saying array. I've been saying array this whole time. I mean, technically it is an array. So we're going to go puzzles dot length. Okay, and put it here. And we're going to assign this to random number. Okay, equals to random number range. Oh, sorry, it's an int. Awesome. So now we have our index for our random puzzle. So we're going to make another variable. This one we don't need to serialize. It's just a string. And it'll be chosen. Oh, private string chosen puzzle. Okay, so this will hold which puzzle we randomly choose each round. So chosen puzzle is equal to puzzles and our index of random number. We made our max the puzzle length so it doesn't give us the error that it exceeds the length of the list. I'm just gonna stick that there. Cool. So now we have our chosen puzzle selected randomly from this list. So now what we're going to do is we want to, for each place that there's a letter, we want to change the color of that slot to white. So what we're going to do is first we need to get access to all these slots. So what we're going to do is we're going to get serialized field. Okay, and we're going to get private it's an array of transforms. Sorry, transform array, and called slot. Awesome. And this is going to hold all the slots that are here. And then what we're going to do is for each transform slot, this is multiple slots, so I'm naming slot in slots. We are going to iterate through all the slots, and if we want, so since they're numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, as you can see over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, what we're going to do is we're going to compare the index of the letters in our puzzle to the name of these objects. So we're going to do if slot.name, oops, sleep timeout, if slot.name, and we need to make this an int, so we do int dot parse slot.name minus, oops, okay, minus 1 because it starts from 1, not 0, so we need to make sure minus 1. And then this needs to be the index for our chosen puzzle. And only if this is a letter, this is not equal to a space, then we use slot.getComponent, and we have to do that function, right, that we called earlier. We have this change color function here. We want to get component slot, and we want to call on it to change color. Okay, perfect. So if you didn't understand what we did here, we took the name of this object, so it's going to go for each of these objects. So suppose it goes to 1. If the index of 1 minus 1, which is 0 in chosen puzzle, so the first letter in chosen puzzle, if it's a letter, then it changes the color of that. But if it's not a letter, then it keeps it the background color. And let's just check that this works by going to background and filling in the variables. So first, puzzles, let's make this 1 for now and keep it simple. And I have 1 copied over here, but make sure that the spacing is correct, because for every space it'll do 1 blank slot, or just keep it a background. Every letter you have will be the ones that show up. So what I did is I took a paper and pen and I just wrote it down how I wanted it to appear, so I knew how many spaces to put where. So 1 sec, let me get my phrases. I have them in a list. I'll just have 1 for now to test that it's working. So we have 24/7 is my first phrase. Okay. So we'll check that if each of the amount of letters it shows is the same. Okay. And slots size is, how many do we have? 39, right? 39. Okay. And let's start. Oops. What did I do? Background. Okay. So we have to start filling these in. This is a bit time consuming, but and all 39 are done. Give yourself a pat on the back. And good. So what it's going to do is it's going to randomly choose between this and this, and it's probably going to get this. And once it does that, then it should change every space that's a letter. It'll change that to white. So let's save ours and click play. Okay, so let's count the letters and make sure it did it. So TWENTY, good. FOUR, SEVEN, yes, it worked. Cool. So let's stop this. That works. So if you want to keep adding puzzles, you can, or let's finish it and then we'll add the puzzles later. So let's go back here. So the next thing you want to do is, as I said before, in this canvas we have a bunch of texts. So let's go to Game Manager. We want to fill in the text that have our that is a letter. We want to change that text to what it's supposed to be. So we're going to go and create a, and this isn't going to be transformed, this is going to be texts. So we're not going to name it slots, we're going to name it characters. Okay. And we don't have the text module imported, so we're going to go here using Unity Engine .ui. Perfecto. Thing is going to be a normal for loop. We're going to for I equals int I equals 0, I is smaller than equal to length of characters dot length then I plus plus. Okay. And let me go here. So it's iterating from 0 through the length of the list of text variables. So what we're gonna do is if chosen puzzle I is not equal to a space, then we're gonna take that same index of characters, so characters I, and we're gonna change it to this is a text, so dot text, and then we're gonna change it to chosen puzzle I, and since this is a character, I'm gonna need to make this a string, and then we're gonna hit enter. So what this is gonna do is it's gonna check for which indexes is their letters in chosen puzzle, and then it's going to make that index change that text to character. Okay. Cool. So let us save this, and just to test it, let's do characters I dot, it's game object dot set active true, just so we can see if it works. We're going to remove this statement later, so let's go over here. Yeah, go to background, we go here, and then slots we have filled, characters we have not. Make this 39 and go to canvas, background. So I'm going to speed this up, and you guys just do what you did last time, just fill these in. Okay, so I've done all 39 of that, and then now if I save it, it should work. You should get the letters filled up onto the white spots. Perfect. 24/7. Awesome. So now that we have done that, let us disable that line from here because we don't need to do that. We just need to make this. We'll only show it up once they guess. Okay, so now we have this button over here called submit, right? So in submit, we want it to do is when they click on the button, whatever text is over here should be given, it should send a little, call a little method from game manager telling it to check this text box, okay? So it's not going to actually pass anything as an argument. It's just going to be a notification saying, okay, this user has finished writing whatever they want. They hit submit, so now you can use that and process it. Okay. So for submit, let's click plus, and for our object that has our script is background. Function we have to be. Sorry, we need to make a function public void submit. This will be the little ding saying, okay, user is done, getting a letter, game manager, submit. Awesome. And then we save this. So now, whenever the user has entered a letter in that box and hit enter, we have to check what's inside this input field. But to do that, first we need to get access to this input field. Let's go up here And again, let's do a serialized field. Okay, and let's do a private input field and input. Okay, so we're gonna name it. Then we are going to, whenever submit is called, I'm gonna check if input dot text, well, what's the component called? It is called input field, sorry. Input field get component. I can't just do it like that, can I? Get component input field, awesome, dot text, so this will give me access to the text, is equal to a character. Can we do a dot length? Yes, we can. Dot length is equal to this is going to be 1, not 0. 1, then save. Then what we want to do is actually make this a variable to make this easier. And x text equals string text. Awesome. So if text.length is 1, that means it's only one character. That means we're good to do our operation. So what we want to do is we want to go through and see if any in our index, in chosen puzzle, what index that letter appears at, if it appears at all. So we go through chosen puzzle. So for int I equals, so here we already have it here now. It's for, okay, I equals 0. I smaller than, and I need to remove equal to here also. That would go above the index. It just needs to be smaller than. I smaller than chosen puzzle dot length then I plus plus. Okay, that's not right. Colon. Okay. Then so each character of this string, now we're going to be iterating through. So if chosen puzzle I is equal to text, and then we need to make this a string, then what we're going to do is we have to get this text object and from characters that we have, and we have to make it set to true. So characters I text, just copy this from here. So we're using the same iterating variable. Characters I dot, we don't need to do dot text, dot game object dot set active equals true. So it'll set active on that variable if it is correct. So let us test. We have been given input field. So let's go here, input field, save this and run it again. So what it's going to do as soon as we hit submit, it's going to get access to what we have here. So it should highlight all these T's. Submit, boom. 24, 7, the only T's are over here and here. You can adjust this for the other letters, W, okay, Y maybe. So we can do this. Okay, so our submit function is going good. So let's stop this. And now let's work on solve. This is the next button over here. Let's click public void solve. So this is when they're done with the puzzle and they want to solve the whole thing. This is where they do it. So, okay, let's do it again. Okay. Show, solve, did I do public? Yes, I did. So I'll go with the solve button and I'll add a object, background, right here. Go to game manager and submit. Oops, not submit, solve. Solve, perfect. So now whenever the solve button is hit, solve will be called. So I just added a puzzle over here. Yeah, raining cats and dogs. So just to add variability, but solve, what we're going to do here is we're going to run this same function that we ran up here for the text, and we're going to see if all the texts are correct. So instead of doing this, we're going to see if character I dot game object dot is set active, right, dot active equal to true. Then what we want to do is we want to make a bool here. Bool is solved equals false, and then if it is true, then we're good, but if it's not true, else we want to say it is false. So that is solved equals false, and if it is true, then is solved equals to true. Cool. And then at the end, we check once the whole loop is done, if is solved is equal to true, then we have to import scene management up here. Using Unity Engine.scene management. I already had it, but you go ahead and do that. Then you do scene manager dot load scene, and you want to load the scene. Right now we are in tutorial. Awesome. So now when I go here, and O, submit. Okay, now the puzzle is done. Now I click solve, and boom, it resets because all of my things are done. So now all you have to do is add more to these elements. So I'll add a few here. So if you go to File, Build Settings, then add Open Scenes, so it'll add Tutorial. Just make sure to save this. Okay, and then we need to go to WebGL and switch platforms so we can upload it online. Okay, then you want to go to Player Settings, and over here in Player Settings you want to scroll down and do this compression format to disabled to make sure there are no errors when you do it online, and then click Build. Okay, name it whatever you want. I'll name it tutorial and save it. Okay, so it has exported, and as you can see, I have this tutorial folder. So now what I'm going to do is I tab Simmer.io, it is called, where you can upload games. If you already have an account, good. If you don't, register for it. And then what you want to do is you want to go to your Finder. You want to take this, and click, drag it to here. Then you upload your thing over here, and then it starts uploading your game. I've already done this, and the link is in the description for where mine is to access that. But I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you made yours. If you did, you can share your link in the comments below. So thanks for watching, and bye.